Welcome back to the channel, everybody. We have an absolutely monumental slate of NBA news to break down today, and I am telling you right now, you need to strap in, grab a snack, and get comfortable because what we are about to discuss could fundamentally alter the landscape of the National Basketball Association for the next half-decade. We are looking at a potential tectonic shift in the Western Conference, a shift involving three of the greatest players to ever pick up a basketball and two of the most valuable, high-stakes franchises in the entire sport world. The off-season is here. The rumor mill is spinning at 1,000,000 miles an hour, and the reports we are getting from the most plugged-in insiders in the league are absolutely staggering. Today, we are diving deep into two massive, league-shattering storylines. First, the Golden State Warriors are reportedly going all in, and I mean aggressively, relentlessly all in, on acquiring Kawhi Leonard from the Los Angeles Clippers. And second, the Los Angeles Lakers have made their decision regarding LeBron James entering his 24th season, and the word on the street is definitive. The Lakers will buy LeBron James. They are going to open the vault. They are going to do whatever it takes, and they are not going to let the king walk out of Hollywood. Let us start by setting the stage for what is shaping up to be the most chaotic and high-stakes summer we have seen in years. The context of this moment in NBA history cannot be overstated. We are standing at the absolute precipice of the end of an era. We are looking at the twilight years of the generation that defined the 2010s and the early 2020s. Stephen Curry, LeBron James, and Kawhi Leonard are all navigating the final chapters of their legendary Hall of Fame careers. The desperation to capture one more ring, to hoist the Larry O'Brien trophy just one last time before hanging up the sneakers, is palpable. It is driving front offices to the brink of insanity. General managers are losing sleep. Owners are staring down the barrel of unprecedented luxury tax bills, and fan bases are holding their collective breath. When you look at the Golden State Warriors, you are looking at a franchise that is terrified of wasting the final prime years of Stephen Curry. We all saw what happened last season. We saw the struggles, the inconsistency, the realization that the old magic, that pure, unadulterated strength in numbers dominance, is slipping through their fingers. The front office knows that they owe it to Steph, to the man who built the Chase Center, who revolutionized the game of basketball, who brought 4 championships to the Bay Area, to give him a legitimate, undeniable championship contending roster. And according to the latest intelligence gathered from the front lines of the NBA rumor mill, the Warriors have identified their white whale. They do not just want a role player. They do not just want a fringe all-star. They want the 2-time Finals MVP. They want the board man. They want Kawhi Leonard. Just process that for a second. The Golden State Warriors, the team that Kawhi Leonard famously dismantled in the 2019 NBA Finals, stopping their three-peat dead in its tracks, are now moving heaven and earth to bring him to San Francisco. The irony is thicker than a fog over the Golden Gate Bridge. But in the modern NBA, grudges do not win championships. Talent does. And the Warriors know that a healthy Kawhi Leonard paired with Stephen Curry is the kind of basketball cheat code that can instantly catapult them from play-in purgatory right back to the top of the Western Conference hierarchy. But the path to getting Kawhi is fraught with obstacles. We are talking about negotiating with Steve Ballmer, the wealthiest owner in the sport, a man who desperately wants to open his brand-new Intuit Dome with star power. Ballmer does not want to tear it down. Ballmer has been stubbornly clinging to the Kawhi Leonard era in Los Angeles despite the mounting injuries, the playoff disappointments, and the whispers that the window has slammed shut. Yet, the pressure is mounting. The Clippers are allegedly asking Kawhi to take a pay cut on a potential extension. They are looking at the new collective bargaining agreement. They are looking at the second apron, and they are sweating. If Kawhi feels disrespected, if he balks at taking less money after giving his body to that franchise, the Warriors are standing right there, waiting in the wings, ready to strike. And then, on the other side of California, down in Los Angeles, you have the most storied franchise in basketball facing their own existential crisis. LeBron James, a man who has defied father time, human biology, and every known law of athletic decline, is entering unrestricted free agency. Coming off a season where he made over $52 million, the narrative all year has been a question of leverage. Will LeBron demand the absolute maximum contract available? Will he force the Lakers to gut their roster to pay him? Or will he take a discount to build a super team? For weeks, there have been terrifying whispers in the Lakers facility that the Golden State Warriors, yes, the very same Warriors trying to get Kawhi, were plotting a heist to steal LeBron using a $15 million mid-level exception, hoping the allure of teaming up with Steph Curry would override the massive pay cut. But I am here to tell you, based on the absolute latest breaking developments, you can put those fears to bed. The Lakers are not messing around. The Lakers will buy LeBron James. What does that mean? It means Jeannie Buss and Rob Pelinka have looked at the revenue he generates. They have looked at the global brand of the Los Angeles Lakers. And they have realized that LeBron James is not just a basketball player. He is an economy unto himself. They cannot afford the optics of losing him to a rival in the same state. They cannot afford to end the LeBron era with him wearing another jersey. The mandate from the top down is clear. Pay the man. Whether it means handing him a 3-year, $182 million max contract that stretches deep into his 40s, or whether it means buying into his exact vision for the roster and paying exorbitant luxury taxes to keep his hand-picked teammate around. The Lakers have decided that the cost of keeping LeBron is cheaper than the cost of losing him. They are going to buy his loyalty, by his final seasons, and by the narrative that LeBron James will retire in purple and gold. This is the ultimate high-stakes poker game. On one side of the table, you have Joe Lacob and the Warriors, sliding all their chips into the middle, desperate to capitalize on the twilight of the greatest shooter who ever lived by acquiring one of the greatest two-way wings in NBA history. On the other side, you have the Lakers, throwing open the checkbook, refusing to let the face of the league walk out the door, committing to an unprecedented financial future just to keep the king on his throne in Los Angeles. This is not just an off-season. This is an arms race. This is a battle for California, the battle for the defining legacy of this generation, and it is all happening right now. Let us transition and really dig into the meat and potatoes of how these monumental moves actually happen, because talking about a Kawhi Leonard trade or LeBron James mega deal is one thing, but executing it within the confines of the most restrictive collective bargaining agreement in NBA history is an entirely different beast. Let us start with the Golden State Warriors and this obsessive, relentless pursuit of Kawhi Leonard. I want to break down the exact mechanics of how this trade goes down, because it is fascinating. If you are Golden State General Manager Mike Dunleavy Jr., you know that you cannot just call the Clippers and offer a couple of second-round picks and a bag of basketballs. You have to make an offer that forces Steve Ballmer to reconsider his entire franchise philosophy, the framework that is gaining the most traction. The package that league insiders are whispering about in the hallways revolves around one key expiring asset and massive future draft capital. The Warriors are looking at packaging Jimmy Butler's expiring contract, a massive trade chip in its own right, along with an unprotected first-round pick in 2027 and a devastatingly valuable first-round pick swap in 2031. Why does this specific package make sense? Let us look at it from the Clippers' perspective. Steve Ballmer is terrified of rebuilding, but he is also a businessman. He is looking at a roster that is aging, injury-prone, and incredibly expensive. The Clippers are reportedly trying to nickel and dime Kawhi on his extension, asking him to take less than the $50 million a year he is currently commanding. If negotiations break down, the Clippers risk losing Kawhi for absolutely nothing. By accepting the Warriors' package, the Clippers get off the long-term financial commitment. They take on Jimmy Butler, who is a phenomenal competitor, but more importantly, an expiring contract. This gives the Clippers massive financial flexibility going into the next summer. But the real prize, the absolute crown jewel of this trade, is the draft capital. That 2027 unprotected pick is incredibly valuable, but that 2031 pick swap, that is the golden ticket. By the year 2031, Stephen Curry will be retired. Draymond Green will be retired. Kawhi Leonard will be long gone. The Warriors will likely be in the darkest depths of a brutal rebuild. The Clippers will hold the right to swap picks with a Golden State team that could easily be the worst team in the league. That is the kind of forward-thinking asset management that could jumpstart the next era of Clippers basketball. Now, look at it from the Warriors' side. Why are they willing to mortgage their entire future, potentially crippling their franchise in the 2030s? For a player in Kawhi Leonard who has a degenerative knee issue and struggles to play 65 games a season. It all comes back to Stephen Curry. You have a once-in-a-lifetime generational talent. You owe it to the basketball gods to maximize his window. When Kawhi Leonard is on the floor, he is a top 5 player on the planet. He gives the Warriors something they have not had since Kevin Durant left. An unstoppable, 3-level isolation scorer who can get you a bucket when the motion offense bogs down. Imagine a closing lineup of Steph Curry, Kawhi Leonard, and Draymond Green. The defensive versatility would be terrifying. Kawhi and Draymond communicating on the back end, switching everything, blowing up pick and rolls, while Steph runs a marathon around screens on the offensive end. Kawhi's ability to shoot the mid-range, to draw double teams, to play bully ball in the post, would open up a floor for Curry in ways we haven't seen in half a decade. Yes, it is a massive gamble. It is a roll of the dice on Kawhi's medical chart. But if you are the Warriors, playing it safe gets you a first-round exit. Rolling the dice might just get you a 5th ring. They are choosing pursuit of glory over the safety of mediocrity, and you have to respect the audacity of that decision. But while the Warriors are trying to construct a new super team, the Lakers are simply trying to maintain their empire. Let us pivot and talk about the situation in Los Angeles with LeBron James. The headline is that the Lakers will buy LeBron. Now, we have to unpack exactly what buying LeBron means in the context of the 2026 NBA landscape. For a long time, the narrative was that LeBron might take a massive, unprecedented pay cut. There were rumors he might sign for the mid-level exception, dropping his salary from $52 million down to $15 million, just to give the Lakers the cap space to sign another max-level free agent. But as the days have ticked by, and as the reality of the situation has set in, that pipe dream has evaporated. LeBron James is a billionaire. He is a savvy businessman. But he is also a man who understands his intrinsic value to the league and to the Lakers franchise. He generates hundreds of millions of dollars in ticket sales, merchandise, and television ratings just by existing in a Lakers uniform. He is not going to play for pennies on the dollar. When we say the Lakers will buy him, it means they have capitulated to his true market value, regardless of the salary cap consequences. The Lakers can offer him a maximum of 3 years and $182 million. That would pay him over $60 million when he is 43 years old. It sounds insane. From a pure basketball analytics perspective, dedicating that percentage of your salary cap to a player in his mid-40s is professional malpractice. But the Lakers do not operate on pure basketball analytics. They operate on star power. They operate on Hollywood logic. Furthermore, buying LeBron goes beyond just his direct salary. It means buy into his family and his vision. We all know his son, Bronny James, is on the roster. Keeping LeBron happy means ensuring Bronny is taken care of, developing him, and allowing LeBron to fulfill his ultimate dream of playing meaningful NBA minutes alongside his flesh and blood. It also means the Lakers front office has to accept the reality of the second apron. The new CBA was designed specifically to punish teams that spend like the Lakers want to spend. If the Lakers give LeBron the max, and they retain their current core, they are going to blast right to the luxury tax limits. They will face frozen draft picks. They won't be able to aggregate salaries in trades, and they will lose access to the mid-level exception. They will be fielding a top-heavy roster with virtually no avenues for improvement other than minimum contracts. But the Lakers are looking at the alternative. The alternative is LeBron James packing his bags, walking away for nothing, and maybe, just maybe, taking that massive pay cut to join the Golden State Warriors, creating a media circus that would humiliate the Lakers organization. The Lakers are looking at the prospect of irrelevance. If LeBron leaves, who is the face of the franchise? They would plummet into a rebuild with very little draft capital to show for it. So they swallow hard, they look at the spreadsheets, and they cut the check. They buy the ending to the LeBron James story. They ensure that whenever he decides to finally walk away from the game, the retirement tour, the statue unveiling, the jersey retirement, all happens at the Crypto.com arena. The Lakers are making a financial decision that defies team-building logic because they are protecting the brand. They are buying the aura of LeBron James, and they are willing to pay whatever exorbitant price the market dictates. This dichotomy between the two California teams is incredible to analyze. You have the Warriors trying to execute a complex, high-wire act of asset management to construct a perfectly balanced championship roster, willing to trade away the next decade of their franchise for one more parade with Steph and Kawhi. And you have the Lakers, using brute financial force, ignoring the warnings of the collective bargaining agreement, simply throwing bags of cash at their aging superstar because the brand demands it. It is a clash of philosophies. It is asset aggregation versus sheer star retention. And the fallout from these two decisions will dictate the balance of power in the NBA for years to come. Let's take a step back and really absorb the magnitude of what we have discussed today. We are looking at a potential reality where the Golden State Warriors line up with Stephen Curry, Kawhi Leonard, and Draymond Green. A reality where the Los Angeles Lakers commit a king's ransom to keep LeBron James playing deep into his 40s, embracing the financial penalties of the new CBA just to keep the Hollywood lights shining bright. This is not just off-season fodder. This is a culmination of an entire era of basketball. If the Warriors manage to pull off this Kawhi Leonard trade, the pressure on Steve Kerr and that coaching staff will be astronomical. They will have sacrificed the future of the franchise for a 2-year window. If Kawhi's knee holds up, they are the favorites to win the West. If it goes down, it will go down as one of the most disastrous, short-sighted trades in NBA history. A desperate gasp from a dying dynasty that ended up suffocating the franchise. But that is the price of admission when you are chasing immortality. You do not get to keep your draft picks and win championships in this league. You have to push the chips in. And for the Lakers, the decision to buy LeBron James is a commitment to a very specific and very volatile path. They are essentially admitting that they are not building for the future. They are surviving the present. They are ensuring that every single game the Lakers play is a massive television event, a circus of media attention, even if the roster around LeBron is thin and constrained by the salary cap aprons. They are betting that LeBron's genius, combined with the sheer force of his will, can somehow transcend the mathematical disadvantages of their payroll structure. What happens if both of these scenarios play out exactly as we have laid out today? The Western Conference becomes an absolute bloodbath. You will have young, rising juggernauts like the Oklahoma City Thunder and the Minnesota Timberwolves try to assert their dominance, running headfirst into the grizzled, desperate, star-studded rosters of the California Giants. You'll have storylines overlapping on top of storylines. The storylines alone would feed sports media for a decade. LeBron James trying to carry a financially strapped Lakers team on his back. Stephen Curry trying to integrate the quiet, methodical brilliance of Kawhi Leonard into the chaotic beauty of the Warriors system. But what if the Kawhi trade falls apart? What if Steve Ballmer stubbornly refuses to trade him, preferring to let Kawhi play out his days in the Intuit Dome, leaving the Warriors stranded with a fistful of picks and Jimmy Butler's expiring contract? The Warriors will be forced to pivot, likely to a lesser star, and the window for Steph Curry might quietly slide shut. And what if LeBron, at the last possible second, decides that the Lakers front office is too incompetent, the roster is too flawed, and he actually does shock the world by taking a veteran minimum to go play with Steph in Golden State? The NBA would fundamentally break. The internet would melt down. That is the beauty, the drama, and the sheer terror of the NBA offseason. Nothing is set in stone until the ink is dry on the contracts. But the intelligence we have right now paints a very clear picture of intent. The Warriors want Kawhi Leonard, and they are willing to bleed to get him. The Lakers will buy LeBron James, and they are willing to bankrupt their future flexibility to keep him. I want to hear from you guys in the comments down below. I need your absolute best analysis on this. If you are the Golden State Warriors, are you making that trade? Are you trading an unprotected 2027 pick and a 2031 swap for a guy with Kawhi Leonard's injury history? Is the chance at a fifth ring worth the possibility of becoming the worst team in the league in 5 years? Let me know. And for my Lakers fans out there, how do you feel about the front office essentially punting on roster flexibility to give LeBron James a massive legacy contract? Do you want him to keep the king at all costs, or part of you wishes they would let him walk so you could start the rebuild? Get in the comments. Let us debate this. Let us get the conversation going. If you enjoyed this incredibly deep dive into the absolute madness of the NBA rumor mill, do me a massive favor and hit that like button. It tells the YouTube algorithm that we are doing something right, and it helps push this content out to more basketball junkies just like us. If you haven't already, please consider subscribing to the channel and ringing that notification bell. We are going to be tracking these stories every single day. The minute Steve Ballmer makes a decision, the minute LeBron's agent Rich Paul leaks a contract number, we are going to be right here, breaking it down, analyzing the cap implications, and telling you exactly what it means to the league. This is going to be a historic summer, and you are not going to want to miss a single second of the coverage we have planned. Thank you all so much for watching. Thank you for spending a massive chunk of your day with me diving into the weeds of NBA roster construction and salary cap gymnastics. Stay tuned, stay obsessed with the game, and I will see you all in the very next video. Peace.